Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for this week. This week we are going to jump right in here. You have this elephant and this mouse, which I'm pretty sure there's a story about an elephant and a mouse, but I can't remember it, so that was pointless. But what I would say here is that the elephant is very lucky and can represent luck coming in for you in this deck. The mouse kind of represents the small details and paying attention to the small details, which I think is, kind of a superpower for you, Virgo. You are good at kind of analysis and small details and paying attention to the little things, so I would definitely pay attention. The elephant can also kind of represent destruction, but, it represents the rebirth, and we have the tower here as well. So I'm wondering if you're releasing something or something has been released from your life and now you're kind of glowing up here. Or this card here says reclaim your power, and it looks to me like you are reclaiming your power, Virgo. This looks pretty good. So I do think that some of you could be, there could be some sort of destruction here. And again, this doesn't have to be scary, right? It's like, yeah, sometimes destruction seems scary, or, if something is ended or brought to an end, then, it seems scary. But it's like what's being rebirthed is going to be very lucky for you. And we have the Empress, which is birth, the mother. So it looks to me like you are rebirthing something, or, something very lucky is kind of being born out of the ashes of something else. With the Tower card, you have the Four of Swords, Justice, and the Queen of Cups. Definitely would be a good time to nurture yourself. I've said to other people as well that, toward the end of the year we have Mars going retrograde, and, Mars retrograde years are great years for resting, relaxing, recovering, healing, collecting your energy. So even before the retrograde, like obviously it's not until later, I would still say that, doing these things, taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, these are good things to do now. Because when you do that, you take care of your energy, and then by the time you get to the retrograde, you'll have enough energy to get through the retrograde with no problems. So I would definitely, take care of yourself at this time. You have the Justice card here. If some sort of destruction or loss has happened for you in the recent past, we're doing past, present, future, by the way, then I feel like this is a rebalancing that's occurring in your life, and maybe you just need that perspective shift as well. If you're worried about a tower moment that's already happened, then, this could say, well, yeah, you could worry about it, or you could realize that, things are changing for you in the best ways possible, and things are actually, going more your direction. So I feel like this is a good thing, not a bad thing. And, I really see things kind of moving in the right directions for you with this energy. You have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups asks you to follow your heart, and I'm wondering if that's what's happening here. 'Cause we go up to the Knight of Swords, to the Empress, and the Queen of Cups. She has that big cup that she's holding on to, and that cup, I always say, it really looks like a trophy. It doesn't really look like a cup. And, she really values what her heart is telling her to do. And that's what I would pay attention to, is like what your heart is telling you to do right now. With the Four of Swords, you have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords could be a victory or a success coming in for you, so I kind of feel like there is a victory coming in for you here. This actually, kind of makes me think that the tower isn't going to be that bad. I really feel like you've already had the tower moment as well. It's like something, it's almost like something already burned you down. I'm pretty sure I said this to you maybe over the past couple of readings as well. Like something like this has come up, and it's something that has caused movement. It's something that has caused you to make a move, or is causing you to make a move or a change in your life, whatever this is. But the Ace of Swords really is a good thing. Like, I always look at the Ace of Swords as, being a victory, but I also look at it as focus. It's like laser-like focus, being super, super focused on something in your life, right? But sometimes the tower moment does bring us back into focus, where we haven't been paying attention to something. The interesting thing about the tower is it's like, I don't know what I want to say here, Virgo, if I'm being honest with you, but it's like, have you ever, kind of like put your hand under like super hot water, right? And it doesn't burn right away, but then you pull your hand out and it burns for like 10 minutes after. It's almost like you did something that burnt after, or, I don't know, I hope that makes sense. It's almost like you had your hand on something like a stove and it was like heating up, right? It didn't burn right away, but then it did, and I don't know, I hope that makes sense. That's the message I'm getting with the Justice card. You have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, you definitely have probably had to walk away from something with the Eight of Cups, or you are walking away from things in general that just no longer serve you. This is always a good idea, with the Eight of Cups. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Six of Wands. Yeah, success or victory coming in for you. I really feel that you are kind of entering into a new era here, Virgo. It's almost like a new era for Virgo of, success or recognition. Normally, we would see a white horse on the Six of Wands. We see the white horse here on the Knight of Swords, and the white horse in the tarot represents assistance or receiving assistance. And it's almost like I do feel like there is something happening for you, where you're kind of like receiving assistance or help from the universe, which is probably a good thing. Next you have this false person card. It says false person or situation, frenemies, lies, betrayal. You have this journey. It says leaving old familiar situations, letting go of the past, getting away. So you're getting away from, a false person or a situation. This false person is the thing that could have caused this tower moment in your life as well. So, I don't feel that for all of you, but for some of you, it could have definitely been like a false person that caused these problems in your life, and you're kind of just moving past it, right? You have the Tower, the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. Like I said, I get this like hot stove type of energy or hot water type of energy off of the Tower card, where it's like you stuck your hand in something for too long and it didn't burn you till after, but it burnt long, like for a while, And I think this is something that happened to you is really the feeling I get. I hope that makes sense, like I said, and that's the feeling. I think this created a new reality for you, and it probably, again, something is being created from the ashes. You are clearly reclaiming your power here, Virgo, which is great. You have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is charging forward towards success. I feel pretty good about the Knight of Swords in your reading. To me, the Knight of Swords is one of those cards that goes both ways. Sometimes I feel like he is stressing that horse out, right? That horse looks like it's stressed out, it doesn't want to be running, and he's like forcing it to run. But sometimes I feel that the Knight of Swords is about charging towards success, and I do feel that you are reclaiming your power and you are moving quickly toward this like a new level of success here. You have the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is a card of being spontaneous, being open to adventure. He can represent a lack of consistency or in and out type of energy. I would be careful of any people in your life that are not consistent. I also think that it would be a good time for you to judge people here, Virgo. Sometimes I think we should judge people, right? Everybody says don't judge people, but, again, if someone is showing you a lot of evidence that they are not consistent, then I would be careful of people like that in your life. And this doesn't have to be in love. This could be people you work with, people that you surround yourself with, or whatever. I would be careful of that like inconsistent type of energy with these cards for sure. With the Tower, you have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups, I like this Four of Cups. It's from the White Sage Tarot, and you can see these three cups are pouring into one cup. So I kind of feel like you are getting to a place where you're going to be more fulfilled, or where you're going to find more fulfillment. Some of you could even be moving. You have the Tower. The Tower can simply represent a move. You have this journey card which says you're leaving a situation, and then that Four of Cups where I really feel you could be doing something or making a move, or you're finding fulfillment or more happiness or joy. It looks pretty good. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords says do not repeat something. Nine of Swords can be a never-ending nightmare. And that's more of the message that I'm getting in your reading, that there could be an opportunity for you to repeat a mistake. And it's like saying, do you need to touch that hot stove again to really find out if it's hot? So, again, I really got that feeling at the beginning of your reading about, hot water or hot stove. And so this is like a little bit of a warning. I don't think it's that big of a deal because, really, I think the gist of this reading is that you're reclaiming your power, as that card says with the Empress. But I do feel it's like saying there could also be an opportunity to like touch a hot stove and don't. Yeah, look at this. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands says everything is in front of you, nothing is behind you. Basically, Three of Wands is my card that says, what are you waiting for? There are changes that you want to make in your life. There are things that you want to do, and these things you want to do are going to lead to growth and expansion. And that's what you should be focusing on with the Three of Wands is growth and expansion, new opportunities, things that take you outside of your comfort zone or, new adventures. A lot of people read this as a card of your ships coming in, which it definitely can represent your ships coming in, but those ships are pointing out of the harbor that he is looking at. The true story of the Three of Wands is that the guy at the top of the card is looking at the water, and it's golden in color. And so first he thinks he's looking at the desert, but when he looks closer, he realizes that there are ships on the water and that it's water. So it kind of represents looking at an opportunity where you think there's nothing there, but there actually is. So they're also, with the Tower here, I feel like this could be a little bit of a surprise where maybe you get invited to do something. It almost feels like an invitation to me, and it's going to require you to travel. And I would say yes to whatever this is here, Virgo, because, it might be one of those things where you look at it at first and it's like the desert, but when you look closer, there's much more that meets the eye. So there could be kind of like an opportunity, I feel, or, an adventure or something coming in for you that really could lead to a lot of expansion, right? So that's what I would do here. Next, in the area of your future, you have this sandpiper spirit. It says, be playful. You have this panther. It says, reclaim your power. I believe we're in a time of the inner child as well, where a lot of us, this comes up in a lot of the readings where I believe that we need to embrace our inner child more. We see a lot of things like curiosity. Even the Page of Pentacles is about learning, about things that you're excited to learn about, which is very kind of like childlike energy. So I think we need more playful energy in the world. You have this panther. It says, reclaim your power. I think that's exactly what you're doing, Virgo, is that you are reclaiming your power in some way. You're standing out or being seen as more powerful, and maybe without even having to do anything. A panther, if you met a panther in real life, it would chew your head off in a second. You don't need to know that a panther is powerful, right? You can just look at it and it's 500 pounds of pure muscle. So there's nothing a panther needs to do to flex its muscles, right? And I kind of get that here with the Empress. It's almost like the Empress is saying there's nothing she has to do. All she does is wave that scepter in front of her and grows this wheat. There's no, she just does that. Comes naturally to her. She just is that thing, right? Just like a panther is a panther. And so I think that, in a lot of ways, the Empress is about you having learned how to embrace the energy of the Empress, or you having learned how to, do things without necessarily having to do them because you're doing what you're already good at in life. And I think maybe that's the realization you're having, and this is what's, it's kind of like you're a natural at something, and by expressing that skill, it doesn't even take up much of your energy. And that's how you are going to reclaim your power. Pretty deep messages here, Virgo, I gotta say. You have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is about education. I believe we're in a time of education. I encourage people to learn as much as possible right now. So whatever you can learn to, grow more, expand more, make more, create more success, or just create more good things in the world, I would definitely encourage that with the Page of Pentacles. I think there's good news coming in for you with the Page of Pentacles as well. So I would be ready for some good news. And again, it feels like an invitation to me right here. We kind of talked about this a minute ago, how there could be some sort of invitation or someone is inviting you to something. I'm not quite sure I'm getting that message across, but, I don't know, if you get invited to something, I would go. I think it could be good for you. You have the Hangman. Hangman is the new perspective. Anytime the tower falls, we get a new perspective in life. Those people are in the top of the tower, they're being brought back down to reality, which is the whole point of the tower. And the Hangman would just be you kind of seeing that new perspective. You're from ground level, and so you're seeing reality for what it actually is. And again, this is very powerful because whenever that happens, when we see reality, we can create the changes that we need to create more success in our life or to do whatever we're doing. With the Empress, you have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords, like this or that thinking. And Two of Swords says there's always that third place. This is my card of third place solutions. I believe that third place solutions are going to save the world. So everybody thinks this or that for every issue, but really there are probably better ways to do things that we just haven't thought of. And I always say, it's these good ideas are going to come from us. So don't ever think that you're not good enough to get one of these good ideas across. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords, again, says something is dead, done, over with in your life, which we already know something has come crashing down. And I think it's this hot stove type of energy. The good news about the Ten of Swords is that it can represent a blessing in disguise. So I do feel that there could be a blessing in disguise or something really good coming in for you after a tower moment. I think you already have this tower moment, like I said. With the Hangman, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is conflict and competition, but again, the Hangman is seeing things from a new perspective. So, excuse me, there could be a new perspective coming in for you in your life. And this new perspective, could be something that helps you avoid competition, which is actually what I think this is encouraging. Yeah, you have this Riches card. Yes, I'm telling you right now, you are reclaiming your power. This reminds me of the Empress, so I feel for a lot of you that you're attracting abundance. I also think it's like you're doing things in a way where it's almost like you're not even having to use your energy. I know that sounds weird, but that's what I feel here. It's like this, like for me doing these readings, I channel from source, so I always feel way more energetic, after I've done the readings, right? So it's like I'm not using my own energy. And I kind of feel that here for you, where it's like you're channeling maybe whatever it is that you do, and it's almost like you're feeling more abundant after. You have the Seduction card. If you want love, I do feel there could be love coming in for you. Looks to me like, communication here with the Page of Pentacles. So, this could be a person you're very attracted to or vice versa, which is great. That's like half the battle. But I think that for a lot of you, you could just be, kind of talking to the person for now. I think you're more focused on yourself, but in a good way. You're more focused on reclaiming your power. You have this Companionship card, so yeah, there could be new love. And again, it could start out as a companion, could start out as a friend, someone that you just kind of start talking to, and then it develops from there, which is fine. You have this Eccentricity card. I feel like you are very eccentric and weird, in a good way, so I would embrace your inner weirdness with this Eccentricity card. I think it's going to be helpful. And you have this card of Resourcefulness. Of course, everybody gets these cards of resourcefulness right now, so I do think we have to be as resourceful as possible. But this looks amazing here, Virgo. Love it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.